Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. Gonna do something a little different today. Had a lot of people telling me, oh, you need to start watching Blackadder. Well, I love history. I love British comedy. I think it's the best. I think it's the funniest. My favorite movie of all time is Monty Python's Holy Grail. So before I start actually watching Blackadder on my own, I thought it might be fun to watch some scenes and do some reactions since I've never seen it before and allow you guys to join me as I do that. So we're going to watch some scenes from their World War I episodes today. This first one is actually How Did the War Start? And it's going to have English subtitles up there for my fellow Americans who might have some trouble understanding British dialogue, as I know my wife has that trouble sometimes, so we sometimes put the subtitles up there when we're watching BBC shows, things like that. So this should be interesting. I'll put the links in the description to the clips that I watch, so you can check them out without my commentary. Here we go.
Yes, I think bugger all might be rather more fun.
Wait. Okay, so we've got Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. We've got House. That's what most people, at least in America, certainly know him for. And then is that Tony Robinson from Time Team? I didn't know he was an actor. I got to hear him talk to know if that's him for sure.
To ask a question, sir?
Oh, that's definitely him. I had no idea he was an actor. I thought he was just the host of Time Team. That's awesome.
Permission granted, Baldrick, as long as it isn't the one about where babies come from.
No. The thing is, the way I see it, these days there's a war on, right? And ages ago there wasn't a war on, right? So there must have been a moment when there...
Here's what I love about Rowan Atkinson. The guy can keep a straight face like no one's business. I mean, back when the Olympics were in London, I think it was 2012, there was... they had the opening ceremonies, and he comes out to perform with the orchestra, and they're going to do like the theme from Chariots of Fire, and he's playing the keyboard, but he's just doing the one note, the dun 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 dun. And while he's like just repeatedly hitting that same note on the keyboard, he like starts doing other things, and he's like checking his watch, and just keeps a straight face the whole time.
There not being a war on went away, right? And there being a war on came along. So what I want to know is...
What happened?
How did we get from the one case of affairs to the other case of affairs?
Do you mean, how did the war start?
Yeah.
So that long explanation just to say how did the war start, just the long drawn out.
The war started because of the vile Hun and his villainous empire building.
All right. I love the Brits, right? You guys know how much of an Anglophile I am. I love the UK. I don't feel like British people should be in the business of throwing stones when it comes to empire building. Just a thought.
George, the British Empire at present covers a quarter
There you
of the
go.
globe, while the German Empire consists of a small sausage factory in Tanganyika. I hardly think that we can be entirely absolved from blame on the imperialistic front.
No, sir, absolutely not. Mad as a bison.
I heard that it started when a bloke called Archie Duke shot an ostrich because he was hungry.
A bloke called Archie Duke, the Archduke, Franz Ferdinand, of Austria-Hungary. And here's the funny thing about that, is that there are probably people in the world who have absolutely no idea that that's why the war started, and would just as likely believe a guy was named Archie Duke that shot an ostrich and that started the war.
I think you mean it started when the Archduke of Austro-Hungary got shot.
No, there was definitely an ostrich involved. Sir.
Well, possibly. But the real reason for the whole thing was that it was just too much effort not to have a war.
That's kind of true when you think about it. And we've talked about that before. I mean, you have this powder keg sitting there because of the massive buildup of these armies. And the assassination was the spark that lit it. But the powder keg was there regardless. And it could have been any of a dozen other things that could have been the spark that lit this war.
By gum, this is interesting. I always loved history. A Battle of Hastings, Henry VIII and his 6 knives.
His
all that.
6 knives.
You see, Baldric, in order to prevent war in Europe, 2 superblocks developed. Us, the French and the Russians on one side, and the Germans and Austro-Hungary on the other. The idea was to have 2 vast opposing armies, each acting as the other's deterrent.
So to prevent war, we created the situation in which the war happened. And, you know, it's not unlike more modern, more recent times with the Cold War, where you have détente, right? You have the Soviets and the Americans building up their nuclear arsenals bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, thinking, well, as long as we've got this many, they wouldn't dare launch all of theirs. But then they're thinking the same thing. And all it would take would be one spark, you know, something like the Cuban Missile Crisis that could end up causing catastrophe.
That way, there could never be a war.
But this is a sort of a war.
It's a
isn't
sort
it?
of a war.
Yes, that's right. You see, there was a tiny flaw in the plan.
What was that, sir?
It was bollocks.
Yep.
So the poor old ostrich died for nothing.
So the poor old ostrich died for nothing. That's awesome. I can tell already from just watching 2 minutes of this that I'm going to absolutely love it. Let's check out a couple other clips. All right, so this one is called Going Over the Top. So we'll see what this one's all about. I have no idea. So
Sir,
Hugh Laurie again.
Captain Darling.
Captain Blackadder.
Wait, so he's okay. So he's a captain. He's a captain. I don't know what Hugh Laurie's. I honestly don't understand British military rank insignia. I need to get better at that.
Here to join us for the last waltz?
Yes. Tired of folding the general's pajamas.
well, this is splendid comradely news. Together we'll fight for king and country and be sucking sausages in Berlin by tea time.
Yes, I hope their cafes are well stocked. Everyone seems determined to eat out the moment they arrive.
Really, this is brave, splendid, and noble. Sir,
Yes, Lieutenant?
I'm scared, sir.
I'm scared too, sir.
I mean, I'm the last of the tiddly-winking leapfroggers from the golden summer of 1914. I don't want to die. Really, not over keen on dying at all, sir.
So could you imagine going through 1914, 1915, surviving the Somme in 1916, going through Ypres, making it through even Passchendaele, and then, say, dying in 1918 at the end of the war, or, you know, or any war like that for that matter. You know, I think of a guy in a Confederate unit surviving through Bull Run and Fredericksburg and Antietam and Gettysburg, and then going to a battle like Chickamauga, as there were guys who fought at both Gettysburg and Chickamauga, and then going through all the battles, and then maybe like A.P. Hill being killed the last week of the war. It's just heartbreaking.
How are you feeling, darling?
Not all that good, Blackadder. Rather hoped I'd get through the whole show. Go back to work at Pratt & Sons. Keep wicket for the Croydon gentleman. Married Doris. Made a note in my diary on the way here. Simply says, bugger.
Oh, man. It's pretty serious, though. I mean, this one definitely has much more of a serious tone as they're preparing to go over the top.
Well, quite. Come on, let's move.
He's already got his bayonet fixed.
Don't forget your stick, Lieutenant.
Rather, sir. Wouldn't want to face a machine gun without this.
The officers' uniforms are awfully clean for being in the trenches.
Listen, our guns have stopped.
You don't think...
Maybe the war's over. Maybe it's peace.
Oh, hurrah! The
Here comes the
big
whistle.
knobs have got round the table and yanked the iron out of the fire.
Thank God. We lived through it. The Great War, 1914 to 1970.
Hip, hip, hooray!
Nope.
I'm afraid not. The guns have stopped because we're about to attack. Not even our generals are mad enough to shell their own men. They think it's far more sporting to let the Germans do it.
We are, in fact, going over. This is, as they say, it.
I'm afraid so. Unless I can think of something very quickly.
Company, 1 pace forward.
Oh, there's a nasty splinter on that ladder, sir. A bloke could hurt himself on that.
Stand ready.
I have a plan, sir.
Really, Bulrick? A cunning and subtle one?
Yes, sir.
As cunning as a fox who's just been appointed Professor of Cunning at Oxford University?
Yes, sir.
On the signal, company will advance.
Well, I'm afraid it'll have to wait. Whatever it was, I'm sure it was better than my plan to get out of this by pretending to be mad. I mean, who would have noticed another madman around here? Good luck, everyone.
This one was decidedly depressing compared to the first one. Ugh. World War I is just... it's so upsetting to me and just so very sad and seems so pointless. I keep waiting for something funny to happen. I guess not. Oh man, that was brutal. All right, we're going to do one more. This is Advanced World War I Tactics with General Melkett. Let's see what this one's about.
Now,
Stephen
Field
Fry.
Marshal Haig has formulated a brilliant new tactical plan to ensure final victory in the field.
Ah. Would this brilliant plan involve us climbing out of our trenches and walking very slowly towards the enemy, sir?
How could you possibly know that, Blackadder? It's classified information.
How could you possibly know that? Now, if you're ever wondering why it is that, like, at places like the Somme, why did they walk? Well, they were carrying a crap ton of equipment. They were carrying like 60 pounds, some of them, of equipment. And because they believed the artillery was going to do its job, they didn't see any reason not to.
It's the same plan that we used last time, and the 17 times before that.
Exactly. And that is what is so brilliant about it. It will catch the watchful Hun totally off guard. Doing precisely what we've done 18 times before is exactly the last thing they'll expect us to do this time. There is, however, one small problem.
That everyone always gets slaughtered in the first 10 seconds.
That's right. And Field Marshal Haig is worried that this may be depressing the men attached.
He's worried this... maybe.
He's looking to find a way to cheer them up.
Well, his resignation and suicide would seem the obvious.
Interesting thought. Make a note of it, darling.
Make a
The
note.
healthy humor of the honest Tommy. Don't worry, my boy. If you should falter, remember that Captain Darling and I are behind you.
About 35 miles behind.
Well, you know what this means?
If it's true, sir, we'll have to cancel the push.
Exactly.
What a nuisance.
What a nuisance. We can't attack this time.
Exactly what the enemy would expect us to do, and therefore exactly what we shan't do.
Now,
Here's the thing, and you know, obviously they're making fun of it, and they're making jokes about it, and in hindsight we would look and say, yeah, what a ridiculous thing to do. But that's exactly what they did. It would be funny if it wasn't so tragically sad that those are the things that they did.
If we attack where the line is strongest, then Fritz will think that our reconnaissance is a total shambles. This will lull him into a sense of full security. And then next week, we can attack where the line is actually badly defended and win the greatest victory since the Winchester flower arranging team beat Harrow by 12 sore bottoms to 1. At ease, everybody. Now, where's my map? Come on. Sir. Thank you. God, it's a barren, featureless desert out there, isn't it?
The other side, sir.
But true, if you look at pictures from the World War I battlefields, because of the incessant shelling, because of the trench warfare, it is like a barren desert everywhere.
Of course I am. Now let's talk about something more jolly, shall we? Look, this is the amount of land we've recaptured since yesterday.
Oh, excellent.
What is the actual scale of this map, darling?
1 to 1.
1 to 1, sir.
Come again.
The map is actually life-size, sir. It's superbly detailed. Look, there's a little worm.
So the actual amount of land retaken is?
Excuse me, sir. 17 square feet, sir.
Excellent. So you see, young Blackadder didn't die horribly in vain after all.
A German spy is giving away every one of our battle plans.
You look surprised, Blackadder.
I certainly am, sir. I didn't realize we had any battle plans.
Of course we have.
It's an ongoing discussion, and it was thought by a lot of men at the time that the generals were just clueless and that they were being led by imbeciles who either didn't know or didn't care what was actually happening on the ground. So, this joke about I didn't know we had any battle plans is not too far from how the average soldier probably thought about this.
How else do you think the battles are directed?
Our battles are directed, sir.
Well, of course they are, Blackadder, directed according to the grand plan.
Would that be the plan, to continue with total slaughter until everyone's dead except Field Marshal Haig, Lady Haig, and their tortoise, Alan?
Great Scott! Even you know it! Bolt all the doors! Hammer large pieces of crooked wood against all the windows! This security leak is far worse than we'd imagined.
I was wondering whether, having been tortured by the most vicious sadists of the German army, I might be allowed a week's leave to recuperate, sir.
Excellent idea. Your commanding officer would have to be stark raving mad to refuse you.
Well, you are my commanding officer.
Well?
Can I have a week's leave to recuperate, sir?
Certainly not.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck to you all. Sorry I can't be with you, but obviously there's no place at the front for an old general with a dicky heart and a wooden bladder. By the way, George, if you want to accompany me back to HQ and watch the results as they come in, I think I can guarantee a place in the car.
Oh, no, thank you, sir. I wouldn't miss this show for anything. I'm as excited as a very excited person who's got a special reason to be excited, sir.
Excellent. Well, chuff chuff then. See you all in Berlin for coffee and cakes.
Okay, so bottom line, I'm definitely going to like Blackadder. I can tell already. That was fun. Do you have any recommendations for... Oh, boy.
No, that's how it works.
For specific ones that I need to watch? I know there's like different time periods and things like that. So let me know in the comment section below if there's something I need to watch, a specific episode, a specific season you think is absolutely the best. I'll put the links to those clips in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.